Okay, so this is a fun topic. The topic we're looking at today in this session is the difference between ritual and procedure. Now, this way of thinking addresses the concept of learning how to think versus learning what to think. Ideally, while you were learning all of your information in medical school, you not only absorbed a lot of data, but you absorbed a set of metacognitive skills that empower you as the landscape changes, as the ways of practicing emerge, new ways emerge, as the internet comes up. Because I went to med school circa, I finished 2003. And so we were aware of what was coming, but we had no idea social information would be so accessible. The whole open medicine movement had not started yet. So returning to ritual and procedure, when you're dealing with a ritual, you perform the act or series of behaviors. You run a script on autopilot in your brain, and you don't necessarily update along the way. You know the goal you wanted, and you step through based on what the terrain was like when you learned the procedure. Now, well, when you learned it initially as a procedure. Now, when you introduce a procedure in the present, it's when you do something, not only do you make sure that the context is correct, but the parameters, the aspects of your behavior are responsive through the whole time to changes in the terrain. So I guess the best metaphor for it would be, say I'm outside dancing and an earthquake happens. I don't continue to dance in the same place. That's assuming I'm going to dance through an earthquake, of course. I don't continue to dance in the same way with the ground shifting beneath me. As the ground shifts, I would adjust my feet and my landing, my jumping, etc., so that I could continue to have the same smooth rhythm. The reason I choose that metaphor is in a landscape such as medicine, you'll end up with shifting values in the culture. You'll end up with shifting technologies. You'll end up with the internet, virtual realities, robotic healthcare, various emerging biotechnologies, bioinformatics, memetics, all of that stuff comes into play. And what you want to be able to do is to take the procedures that you were taught through med school, through residency, through fellowships, through daily practice, and keep those procedures relevant, keep them fresh, keep them context reactive, context adaptive, instead of letting them rust into ritual. Once something has rusted into a ritual, you perform it out of habit. You're subject to what one of my mentors calls habit gravity. You're doing the thing, and if the landscape changes and you're not adjusting your behavior, your way of thinking, your paradigms and your models, you're navigating the map. You're not relevant to the territory anymore. Your responses are off. I bring that metaphor up in ritual and procedure up because, once again, with the rapidly changing landscape of medicine, it's important to be aware of the terrain. It's important to be aware of the opportunities. It's important to keep in mind the end goal is to maximize the health of each patient. It's not to go through a procedure that worked in the past and has been rusted and is now a ritual. So that's ritual versus procedure. One of the key ways I teach you in UnBurnout to prevent the onset of burnout.